Sort of move on to that in a different dimension. Being a social scientist, I'm actually questioning the societal value of mosque, the societal value. So the mosque is there in the society. What is the relationship there? What value is it bringing? And I kind of went along this kind of like quirky theme. It's got nothing to do with the song, the Imam will be pleased to hear, but that song title, 50 Ways to Leave Your Lover, I kind of changed it to 50 Ways to Leave Your Level, because I wanted to challenge myself with 50 ideas. But you know, something I often do with a lot of my training courses is I just Google image items to see what kind of impression comes out. And so I put in the title, Beautiful England. And when you put in Beautiful England, you always get a picture of a church. And the idea of peace and beauty beauty in terms of aesthetics coming from a church and being related to the idea of beauty is very much there. It's not really there with mosques, is it? And so one of the terms that often gets branded around is the idea of, so like an academic term, and it's got a kind of like a mix between economic benefits and a relationship or societal benefits. So if you like, there's a hard-nosed feel to it, and then you have like a social trusted networks feel. Well, when I'm looking at societal value, I'm looking at the impact on the desirability of an area. Or to put it a simpler way, do mosques have what I call the Waitrose factor? And that means that if you live near a Waitrose, it's something that you want to do, it's a desirable place to be. In fact, some studies show that a Waitrose puts the value of your price, house value up. So, look, some giving to society is happening. It's not as if mosques are not giving. But have we asked these questions with regards to the location desirability of a mosque and the societal value? And of course, the central question, something that the Imam alluded to, who owns this concern? Is it just the headache of the trustees and management of the mosque? Actually, I'd like to think it's a much bigger circle than that. But mosques have been around for a long time. 50 plus years we've had community mosques, and so we could say that they've had their time. And so I'm kind of looking at this slider scale, and I'm saying, you know, are we going to make excuses for mosques? Because there are some of us who will make excuses for mosques. And on the other side of the spectrum, there are saying, no, mosques have had enough time. Those excuses are not acceptable. And there are a whole load of layered issues. We looked at the socio-economic deprivation issues. But, you know, at the same time, we have had time. And I suspect that most of us are somewhere in the middle. If I'm honest with you, I'm veering more towards excuses not being accepted. But this isn't a mosque bashing session. It should be a session about strengthening mosques. This is a question that often is asked by people, especially pockets of victimhood out there. Well, why should we? Why should we do anything? You know, what is there to apologise when you hear these kind of sentiments coming out? And I think that is a good question. And my answer to that is, whatever your answer is, it's correct. Because nobody is pointing a gun to your head, or there's no legal reason to do any of the stuff that I'm going to suggest. You don't have to. If you want to be a closed building, cut off from society, well, you have the legal right to do so. So you're not going to be wrong. But I think this should be about choosing. We should choose to do these things. I also think a lot of this says a lot about our own Islamic thought, how we understand our faith. And a lot of this is about potentials, about what mosques can do over 20 years. Rule number one, we're not judging anyone. So the idea of a bricks and mortar space and its proximity to community, if you're reaching far out and wide to communities, you're going to be engaging with so many different people, you mustn't judge people. Rule number two, first learn rule number one. That's taken from a film, but basically it emphasizes the importance of that. I'm also showing my age. So a mosque can either be a closed building, a community building or a community hub with worshippers coming to it, or it can be a venue, an opportunity with volunteers and become a valued resource. Let me tell you this, two of the biggest challenges that any kind of social operation is faced with is the cost of a venue and the cost of people. Those are the two biggest things. Take this event, we have to pay this place to be here. If you have a space, and if you have a network of people, you have opportunities. It's about turning that around. In a lot of my training, I do a session on trying to bring the themes of the Quran in a coherent form. And some of my training is only a few minutes, like 15 minutes. And I've tried to summarize what I see as some of the core themes of Scripture. This, I would argue, is the stuff on every page of the Quran. And there's a great deal there about salihat, doing good deeds, about goodness, about charity, about excellence, and all of these things kind of come together, and hopefully you'll see some of these themes. You know, whenever there's a mosque, you often find objections to that mosque, and those objections range, and you have this, as you have with a lot of far-right campaigning, it's often a thin shell of truth stuffed with a lie. We all know that. But it's that thin shell of truth I want to think about. Is that thin shell of truth there? And one of the things that's often said is that a mosque in this area will actually bring the area down. And how much truth is that? Because in a free market in a free market economy, house prices don't lie over the long term. Do mosques matter? We hear about this thing about things mattering. Do mosques matter? Does anybody really care if the mosque is not there or if it goes away? Does it matter to civil society within a 3-mile radius? And I would suggest that the greater its societal value, the more a mosque matters, and it should be about giving. This is about giving. What I'm suggesting here is about giving, not about serving the worshippers, but about the mosque giving and giving again. Giving for giving's sake, not without a return, not because you want to attract people to your religion, not for any of those reasons, but for giving's sake, and think creatively. This is by no means an exhaustive list. None of this, I would argue, is impossible without a positive focus. It's faith, and as you will see, none of this is rocket science. And we are allowed to have a little bit of fun along the way. So let's begin with this. And there will be 2 or 3 slides like this. If you think of any ideas yourself, hopefully the idea is to stimulate ideas, then I hope so. Now, I have set a timer on this, 10 seconds for everyone, the chair will be pleased to know, so it's going to rattle through. Mosques can provide training for local businesses, helping them with marketing, helping with tools. We can organise people to do community litter picking, go out there, pick things, improve the aesthetics, and give something back. It shouldn't necessarily be about council taxpayers doing it. Local volunteering hours, bringing people in, getting them to do things. It's a magic thing that we can do because we can bring people in, and it's time that's one of the most expensive resources. We have to obviously upskill mosques. So staff training and upskilling is a very important part of this process, and some of this is going on. The beauty of the Quran needs to be celebrated. Why for us? People would love to come to an evening and listen to beautiful recitation. We can have these nights. In fact, we can go forward and actually have prophet story nights, theatrical performances. Share those stories. A proper local cafe, connecting local businesses that people can just walk into, so that local people can have a connection with that mosque, a place where they can go and just chill and talk about anything that they want to. I love this one because it's really passionate for me. Beekeeping, we can encourage people to do that. There are so many Quranic verses on this, and we can create this knowledge about what's important. Bake-off events, bring people in, bake stuff, go around, give them out to people. Get some fun going. You know, the far right go around repairing people's fences in run-down areas to gather votes. There's a reason for that. They want to build bridges. We can go around and improve the aesthetics of our local community. I tell you, when I'm looking for a mosque, it's normally a nice area. I have to say, when the area starts to run down, I know I'm close to the mosque. Diet, nutrition, advice. So key, bringing people, make connections with society, bring people in, offer advice to people normally, without judging them. Any ideas?
Delivering crucial services as well. For example, women's services, domestic violence, that are open to everyone, not just to Muslim women.
Fine. Okay. Arabic for all. People want to learn Arabic for different reasons. Some people have just been in for a holiday in Dubai or something like that. They just want to learn something. It's not necessarily about wanting to become Muslim. Local champions. You know, champion what's going on in your locality. Even give awards to people. People feel good about that. They'll feel a connection with their local mosque. Walking together, cross-faith, Just having a walk, Saturday, Sunday, it's lovely, it can be done. People love to walk. Readers in schools, go around to your local school, get people together. Teachers are so stretched. Help them to read and cultivate the importance of reading. Iqra, the first word, fantastic. Doing school repairs, getting people together that can do repairs, go to your school, fix the fences, do things that will save them their money. It's giving back to the community. Movie nights, why not? Get people in, get some popcorn in, get some movies going, discuss some themes. There are lots of things to be heard in the movie. And watch Lion. Money management skills. Everybody's struggling with this one. Bring experts in, people that work in banking, teach people how to manage their money. Everybody's worried about this. Sexual health, explore these issues properly, openly, in a way where we can bring doctors and consultants and talk about these things so that people can benefit. They're associated. And what's wrong with sex counselling? Let's have it for people that need it so that people can understand how to engage with some of their personal problems. Keep in mind, there are minorities within minorities within minorities within minorities. Let the mosque be a voice for them to raise awareness. Let the mosque be a place that can do things. Cycling, cross-faith cycling clubs. None of this is rocket science. It's about just generating that spirit and getting it moving out there.
Naved, how many slides do you have left?
Sorry?
How many slides do you have left?
We're running through. Let's see. Growing your own fruit and veg can be done. Keeping hens. Water life-saving skills. You know, these are all things that we can provide if we bring it together. Teaching people how to fish and getting a fishing club. Any other ideas from anybody?
Mosques should be Pokestars and Pokemon Go.
Very good. Local sport. Give to local clubs. Let the mosque be giving, not claiming, but actually giving money for local sports out there. Old people don't know how to use software. They're not connected. Get the young people to teach people. How do I use this new iPad? It's been updated. I don't understand it anymore. DIY skills. Getting people to save money by upskilling them, getting that together. Men can cook clubs. I think that would be very, very popular. Chapati and bread baking days. Why not? Bring people in. Let's do it. How to sew. Reuse things. Save money. Parenting teenagers. Everybody, these are human problems. Fire safety training, first aid training, we can make connections and make this happen. Community dua events. Why is George, who is worried about his wife Wilma, not coming to the mosque on a night and us praying? When people are desperate, they just want a prayer. Bereavement counselling. Mosques should be for everybody. Mental health awareness. These are affecting everyone. It's not just for Muslims. It's about giving it to people, making it available for people. Let's go around repairing people's minor plumbing issues so that a leaking tap for LED can be solved. And go around helping people, sprucing their places up. Why not? We've got the time, we can do it. People have electrical goods. They just go, the fuse goes and they have to buy a new one. Let's have repair nights where people can bring their repairs and get them repaired. One dish food shares. Get the food, giving it out free to people. Why can it not be done? Popping citizens' advices. Ramadan free food. Why is the mosque not a public toilet? And obviously test us, but we need to get it right. Why is it that if somebody needs a toilet, they have to go to McDonald's? Why can't they go to the mosque? It's there for them. And walk-in showers for the homeless. This can be carefully managed, but it makes so much difference. Free haircuts for people. Job interview skills. Supporting local businesses, bringing them expert and developing training in new enterprises, self-defense classes, local democracy, going around planting trees, World Culture Days, so that people understand that Muslim culture is not homogenous. We need to make sure that nobody is cold around the mosque. We should pay their bills and repair their things. It shouldn't be about the government. Community health checks. They go around, it's a Christian group, just keeping people safe at night. She's lost her shoes, they're giving her some flip-flops to get home, no judgment. Reusing our goods, helping people to get out of debt. Crash course on Islam, people have questions. And just being a homework club. Arbitration venue, not necessarily about Muslims, just being a venue where people can solve their disputes. Let 80th and 90th birthdays venue be a free venue for people, car wash charity days, events for young people, clearing snow.
And Naved, as much as I want to see everything.
It's all there, it's going, it's going. It's done, that's it.
Amazing.
Huge amount. 1,000 mosques, 100 volunteers, 10 hours each, 20 focusers, you do the maths. I would say that it significantly adds societal value. Finally, just on the hadith, the migrant that went from Makkah to Medina, he said, show me the marketplace, that he could be of value to society. Thank you.
Thank you. Come and join us.